welcome back.
Sorry about that. So basically, this saddle's not going to work. This is made for a horse with a high wither and a horse that's rather slim on the side. So it's going to roll if I put steps on here and I try and get on. I put any weight, it's just going to roll straight to the side. So it's not going to work. Moving all over the place. What I will do though, I'm going to grab the saddle that I can show you does work on her, so you can see if you can find one similar to this. They are a bit pricey, but let me tell you, sometimes they come up for a cheap price, or you might get an older one, but they will do the job on any fat pony you come across, any wide horse. I had to get one. I hate spending money, but I had to get an expensive saddle to fit her because nothing else would. Had no luck with any kind of saddle. Apart from I did have a just get you to hold that so she doesn't fall off.
Sure.
Sorry. But I'd rather not sell you something that's not going to work. Rather be honest about it. Making you bother to come out this way. Now, let me show you what I use on her.
Hey, Tacking, you gonna take Szara for a ride? You take her for a walk? So sorry about the interruption, guys. We have a bit of a dead spot in this paddock with the Wi-Fi, so we've switched on mobile data. Welcome back, Laura, and so sorry about that. We did have a bit of a cutout there in the feed, so we're just going to get Nervous Rider to come back around, and just come back around, and she'll have a talk to you about the saddle and just some new development. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Okay, we got 10 people in the room. Guys, be sure and hit that like button as you come in. Let's try and help Nervous Rider's channel out as much as we can. Thank you. You want to take Szara for a walk, I don't think she'll be happy with that, Tacking. She's not one to be led, Tacking. You should know this. You'll have to learn the hard way, my friend. Welcome, everyone. Okay, here we go.
Now this saddle has 4/4 horse bars. It was custom made by Toowoomba Saddlery. It is under the same, it's under the stock fender special, but it's the 4/4 horse bars on this one, not this one. So it fits a wider horse really well.
Hi, Kim.
And I'll show you in a second.
I can hold that if you like.
Now, she's a pony that took a very long time to find a saddle that would fit. I did have an older saddle that I got rid of that I regretted. It was a really crappy one, but it worked. Sometimes you can find crappy ones that work, but it just wasn't working long enough, so just really try things.
Hello, Bubby. That's, we got 45 people in the room and only 2 likes. Let's see if we can get that higher.
I'll show you what I mean
Hey, Deborah.
by the fact that it will not move when I do it up. Now, I need a better girth right now. This girth is not the right girth. I don't know what I did with my girth. I think it's on a different saddle. Maybe it's on Ellie's. So this girth needs to be a bit longer, but it does the job for now. And she's a really good horse. She tolerates an awful lot. Actually, that's way too far forward.
Oh, thanks for the love hearts. Deborah says, hi, beautiful horse.
She is lovely. Handful though, guys. But a very lovely girl. Good
Talkie. You've been naughty, Talkie.
Prep back. Don't be silly. So, as I said, this is a Toowoomba Classic fender. It's a come out, which is even better because she's going to lose her crap with me in a second. No, she's good. Don't you be standing there, Doc. She's going to blind you for every second. You're going to get it.
Come on, guys, let's hit that like button. 37 people and only 3 likes. Good morning, Solange.
It helps me out quite a bit. To the point I may be able to feed the horses if there's a drought. You don't have to hand your money over, but if you can hand a like over, it costs nothing, and it helps.
That's right.
Farmers out here do it tough. It's expensive.
Solange says, what a cute pony. Deborah says, I wish I could ride. And good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Deborah, maybe you can. Maybe you can find a way to go and see a horse riding school or something like that. I don't know what your circumstances are. If you lived near me, I would teach you to ride for free and I wouldn't charge you a cent. That's what I do. I've done it for many, many kids and many adults over the years, including pony party and all sorts of stuff. Used to volunteer at the old people's home with a stallion and a mini mare. But the drought hit us and we lost all our animals. And it was horrible. It was heartbreaking and it was sad. We weren't able to afford to feed them all. And we weren't the only ones. We had neighbours having to shoot their cows and sheep and horses. And it was not a nice time. So we're trying to prepare in case that happens again to where we can actually afford to keep the ones that we do have. Bye.
Talkie, back up, boy. He's very naughty. He can be very naughty. I gotta move him out of the way.
Make him move.
Okay. Hey, Lacey. How are you going? Laura says, if only we lived closer, I'd ride with you.
Yeah. It would be good. It's nice out here. There's a lot of trails out here. You can see the difference, Lara, on this saddle. I'm moving the hell out of that. There ain't nothing going to get that moving. I'm going to jump on and show you what happens. This is the difference between a saddle that's, well, these saddles are $4,000 new. I got mine for under $2,000. I was lucky, but I bought it a few years ago when they were still only about $3,000 new. They've gone through the roof, but occasionally you'll find an older one. Mine was brand spanking new when I got it. The woman bought it and then got pregnant and only had 1 or 2 rides in it. So it's still almost new. And I was actually going to sell it, but I think I'm going to keep it because it's the only one that fits her. So I basically cannot get that off. So this is called a Toowoomba Stock Fender Special, and this is what you want to get. And just for the purpose of showing you how it acts when you, so if you see one cheap or you know someone who's got one that'll let you pay it off, I would pay one off if you can, if you can do that. Hang on. Get that.
Aussie Paws says, please do not ride that tiny pony. Well, Aussie,
Aussie, I've been riding this tiny pony for 9 years. This tiny pony can carry probably another 30 kilos on top of my weight. She's well within the range. And obviously you don't really probably know much about horses or what you're talking about. So, you know, maybe you can learn some stuff while you watch. It might be good. Well, unless you're meaning him. If you mean him, don't worry, I have no desire to get on the back of him. He's like a bronco. You don't want to get on him. Actually, he's not too bad. He had a 2-year-old on him not long ago. And take control, which is good. I'm going to get her to steer. Now, I'm going to just jump on. Now, what I want you to do, John,
Yep.
is Lara's going to want to see how much this saddle moves. So I want you to get where you can show
Yep.
from an angle. But further back, you go back, you don't need to hold anything or do anything.
Okay, cool.
And get back
Yep.
to where you can, I'll show you exactly what I want you to do. I want you to have it so you can stand here, right where I am, and watch if that moves. So see the saddle there?
Okay, cool.
I'll show. I'm trying to show her it doesn't
Yep.
roll.
Absolutely. Gotcha.
Now they will move slightly, but they do not roll. Every saddle will move slightly when you jump on. It hardly moves at all, as a matter of fact. So you can see there the difference between that and something that'll roll. Now I can. Hang on a second. It's really fresh today.
Now, Linda, I know you might mean well, but Nervous Rider here knows exactly what she's doing. And yeah, that might be for some people with no experience, that advice, but I think you're completely off with that.
What did she say?
Okay, Linda says you should make the bridle higher because of the bone. If you were to have to pull hard for some reason, it all could break the horse's bone or its
If it
noses.
goes any higher, that's exactly what it will do. It's exactly where it should be. And I don't know what sort of things, what sort of people are teaching you, but I do know the anatomy of my horses and my own horses. So I appreciate your advice, but I've been riding this horse for 9 years, bitless and with a bit. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yep.
So trust me. My horses are better taken care of than most horses I know, including rich people with a lot of money. They don't look after their horses the way I look after my horses.
Yeah, but thanks anyway, Linda.
So we do appreciate it. I just do get a bit annoyed with people sometimes because everybody has their own horses and they know their own horses and what their horses can tolerate and don't want to tolerate. And
Hi, JC. Hi, Starry Horse. Starry Horse does horse content too.
that's good. Now, this is the thing. I have a chiropractor. His name's Vernon. And I love Vernon. I'll tell you why I love Vernon. Vernon doesn't try to interfere with everybody's life. He doesn't try to micromanage everybody. Neither do I. I've got a mate down the road who does things very differently to me with her horses. And she gets different results to me. But she's happy with what result she gets. I do things very differently to a lot of people.
Hi, Bailey.
Especially out here in the country. In the country, a lot of people are really gung-ho with wanting to basically beat the crap out of their horse so they get a good result. But I don't do that. And I don't care how long it takes me to get a result. If it takes me 10 years to get a result, then it takes me that long.
Wow.
I actually work with horses with behaviours that nobody else wants, that other people will not tolerate the behaviour that they have. And I tolerate it, and I work with them, and I try to help them learn a new behaviour. I've been doing it for years and years and years. I've rehabilitated many horses, and I've found them very good homes with people who are patient and understanding. A lot of people who are not patient and understanding. And it's not about what gear you've got. Gear can help. This one helps her because it doesn't roll on her, it fits her well. But you can do the same thing bareback, you can do the same thing whichever way you want to do it. This depends on how comfortable you are.
Yep.
So
Aussies.
One thing,
Yep.
sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, one thing I don't like is people who come in here, and I've had many a person that completely put to shame with my horses. They get in here and they say, you're not doing your horse right. I've had, even Josh has done it once or twice. He said, no, you've got to get harder with these horses. And he got knocked the heck over by Ellie.
I sure did.
She put him to the ground and almost killed him.
I went over backwards, yeah.
Now, I've had other people who are very knowledgeable people who've broken in horses getting with Ellie, and she's almost killed them. They do not know how it is that I was able to do what I've done.
That's right.
But it's because I have patience and I read the body language. I'm with them 24 hours a day.
Aussie says respect for using a bitless bridle.
This horse can take a bit, she'll take a bit. She prefers bitless. She doesn't want a bit most of the time. She's fine with a bit if you go out. And legally, in this, where we are, you have to have a bit in. So the coppers can pull you over and actually fine you if you don't have a bit. That's the law in the state I'm in.
Hi, Bailey. Okay, so Linda says, okay, I was just trying to help because when she wasn't on yet, it looked pretty low on him or her, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine, that's fine. I just know my horses. I just want to assure you this. there's nothing that happens to my horses without me making absolutely certain that everything is fine-tuned and that they have the best possible setup before they go anywhere. And I've got another horse in the back of me right now, carrying on, so we're going to move her around before we lose her.
Starry Girl says, I love my old girl. She's 27.
Yep.
Awesome. Very cool.
I've got a 31-year-old standard breed here, but he's retired. We don't ride him anymore. He's been retired for 5 years.
Yeah. So we got JC says, you need to loosen up your reins for your information not being mean.
Have a look at my reins.
Looks pretty loose to me.
See, what you see on the camera and what's actually happening in reality are two different things, depending on the angle of the camera. I can't blame you for thinking things that you're seeing, because the camera can make things look either a lot better or a lot worse. I'm a very honest person. I'll show you the absolute quality to the point that if a horse is doing something really, really terrible, I won't switch the camera off or edit anything. Everything is done to where you can see the absolute worst, because what I don't want to do is give people this false, pretentious sense of security where they think that you just send a horse to a trainer and then all your problems are solved. That doesn't happen in the real world. Horses, like people, have good days, bad days, days where they feel ill, days where they feel better, days where they want to be outside, days where they don't want to be outside. Like us, they have a personality all of their very own. And unfortunately, some people try to sort of show the absolute best of their horse and make out that they're this great big fantastic trainer and things. They will never show you what they do to get that horse to do what they're asking it to do. And oftentimes the things that they're asking and the way they get the results, if you actually saw it, you'd probably be bringing animal cruelty on them, because it's not good.
Yep.
And I've seen many, many, many people abuse the shit out of horses over the years. The reason I am the way I am is I was put into a children's home at 6.5 years of age, and across the road in a paddock was a horse. Now that pony had never been touched by anybody. I learnt, because I was in this place and I hated being in there. I had no idea I was even going in there, me and my two siblings. I learnt to survive by going over and hanging out with that horse. So I observed that horse's behaviour from a very young age. And I watched and I learnt, and I ended up being able to ride that horse with no bridle, no saddle, never ever touching anything but the horse and me. And that's how I learnt. So I learnt the most natural way. I didn't have anybody influencing me but the horse. The horses are what taught me, not people. I don't really put much stock in what people say. I'll listen, but I listen to my horse far above listening to people. And there's a lot of opinions out there. There's a lot of people who, they might know for their horse, but they might not know for someone else's horse. And
That's right.
for my horse doesn't always work on someone else's horse.
Exactly.
So I would never say to somebody, oh, you can't do it this way, you've got to do it this way. I might say to them, you want to try this way, this is what I do, and see if that works. Or they might say to me, would you like to try this way? And I've learnt from people many times over by listening to their advice, but they're not sort of telling me you must do it that way, give it a go and see if it works. And then I've also taken advice and that hasn't worked. And I've worked out that, well, hang on, that didn't work for us. So
That's right. We got Isabel R says, stop telling her how to ride, people. Thank you, Isabel. We have JC. We have JC Barden says, well, I also know a lot about horses, more than you, Isabel. Well, guys, come on, don't fight. Let's support one another and let's try and learn from one another, okay?
Everybody's probably got a lot of knowledge of their own experiences, and that's what's the most fantastic thing is when we all learn. If we learn from the actual horse, they will teach us far quicker than a person will. If we get in their way and we do something to upset them, they're going to let us know. They're very honest like that. And they will help us learn. And if we don't listen to them, well, we'll have a consequence. We might get kicked or bitten. They might avoid us. They might do all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things they can do. But if you listen to them and you let them sort of teach us how to work with them, then we get a good bond with them and we can understand one another really well. And that's my whole goal, is to, when I do teach people, it's not that I'm teaching them how to ride, I'm teaching them how to find their own seat and how to find their way of riding.
Yep. So we got, yep, that's good. We have Laura Johnson here tuning back in. Says, I'm going to try another saddle on my standee. I will send you some photos for some advice.
Yeah, please do, yeah. And look, have you got a horse another thing you could do, is if he does float, you could bring him out here and have a try of all the saddles. I've got plenty here. You can have a try of them and see what fits him, so at least you know what's going to fit him. Because the hardest thing is trying to find someone who will let you try a saddle to see if you can find one that will fit. And so many people get stuck having to pay thousands of dollars on things that really just don't work. So,
Laura says no, sadly.
okay. Does your horse actually
She
float,
floats though. Yeah, she floats.
Because I've got a float. Might be able to do something where I can help you out.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Understood.
Yeah. But look, and listen, the other thing about me is that a lot of people don't realise is I had a stroke a couple of years ago, which affects my balance very greatly, and it affects my ability to respond really quickly to the horse and to the movement and motion. So I used to be somebody who you wouldn't stop me. I'd be riding continuously all day long, doing all sorts of things all over the place and tricks and everything else. The last 2.5 years, I'm struggling to even sit up here. Right now, while I'm sitting here, I feel like I'm actually falling forwards, and I don't even know if I am, because I get a thing called vertigo, and it's something that happens with my brain. So it's a bit harder for me than it is for the average person to stay on a horse. So that's why I take it so very slowly, and I'm more careful. And I mean, I can ask her to walk on.
Laura says yes. Come pick me up.
All right, we'll organise a day to do that. That'll be good.
Cool. Hi, Domingo.
Now she's going to get happy with the section because she's going to think she's going out on the trail, right?
Okay, guys.
She's going to get cranky again and go, no.
We're going to try a little experiment here. I'm going to go a little bit further out. I'm going to walk further out. And guys, stay with us. If we do have an interruption, we will definitely be back online. So please make sure you subscribe. Yep. Okay, cool. We're coming over here now, so that's good. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in. And if you haven't already, consider hitting that like button and subscribing. Thank you.
So I'm going to put this all away. Szara is... but that just goes to show you, if you've got a wide-bellied horse and a low-withered horse, the Toowoomba stock fender specials are really good. Now, would they work on a big draft horse? Probably not. But on a standard bred or on a stock horse or something like that that's got no wither, or a quarter horse, usually stock horses have a bit of a...
Laura said she'll message you shortly.
Yeah, no problem.
Linda asks, is she a FGORD horse? I don't know what that means. Also, the reins did look a bit tight, so I understand what you mean.
No, she's not. She's a buckskin.
Buckskin, yeah.
She's a buckskin Arab cross with a Welsh mountain pony.
Excellent.
So Dad was Arabian, Mum was Welsh, and she got a lot more of the Arabian attitude than... I would rather have had the temperament of the Welsh mountain pony, because Welsh mountain ponies have a lovely temperament. Arabian's a bit hot, and that's why you'll see her constantly pulling faces. It's really funny because people come here. I had this cowboy once come here, and he's like, I was teaching his daughter to ride, and he lived away from her. He'd come to visit her from up somewhere a few hours away. And when he got here, he said, oh, that horse looks really cranky. I'm a rodeo rider. Let me get in on it. I said, well, when did you last do a rodeo? You're looking a bit old there, fella. And he's like, oh, probably about 15 years ago. I said, well, you don't want to probably get on her. Anyway, he goes, oh no, I'll do it. He went inside, around yard, and she just attacked him. Just went straight at him, and I've never seen a man run so fast. He got out there. She's only little, but he ran. He was like, holy crap! But so she can be quite aggressive, but she can also be really loving and really lovely. And it just depends on her mood and whether she wants people around her that day or not. But she's a very good Liberty horse as well. She'll allow you to work with her Liberty style. And she loves going on trail rides and stuff. Now we've got to work with the other one, Miss Ellie.
So guys, we don't want anyone have to leave the chat. Let's all be supportive and let's learn from one another, okay?
Everyone's got something valuable that they know about horses. And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. And we can all sort of learn from each other and do whatever we need to do to sort of try and give each other support, because the last thing you want to hear is constant criticisms from people. That'll turn someone off of riding for life if they're constantly being criticised by somebody. And you know, not everybody has the same abilities as each other. I know a lot of people with disabilities who ride that really struggle. But good on them for getting up there and having a go. And that's the whole thing. It's all about having a go.
So Linda, what was that a question for? What is she trained in for?
Szara?
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't do shows and I don't do things like that. I don't like that world. I find that world quite repulsive because I find that there's a lot of people there who abuse horses. What they do is they'll go and get a horse. It'll do what they want for a while, and then something changes, and then the horse doesn't perform the way they want, and then what they do, they throw them in the bloody knackery. And people like me come along and have to pick up the pieces. And I don't like it. I don't get involved in that kind of world. I stay to myself. I don't really get involved with horse people at all. I steer clear, to be honest. There are nice horse people, but there's an awful lot of bitching and what am I doing?
That's right.
Stuff like that. So I just steer clear. I'm more about working with my horse, not to get a ribbon or anything like that. I'm about working with my horse so that I've got some peace inside myself and they've got some peace inside themselves, and that's what it's about for me, which is why I don't care if it takes me 20 years to work with a horse. It doesn't bother me. I'm not in a hurry. Now, that's nothing to say I've got anything against people who do stuff, but there are a lot of people in the industry, racing industry, who don't do the right thing by the horse. The horse works its guts out for them, and they don't look after them. They just flog them off to someone else, and the next person gets them and something goes wrong, and then they end up in really bad conditions. They're either abused or sent to the slaughterhouse. And unfortunately, the slaughterhouse, if you've ever been to one, and I'm not talking about the sale yard, I'm talking about the slaughterhouse. If you've ever watched what happens in a slaughterhouse to a horse, they use a driver that they use in the cattle, a stun gun that they use in cattle. And what it does with the horse is it doesn't work. It'll stun them, but it doesn't kill them like it kills the cattle. And then they get hoisted up in the air, often while they're still awake. They'll break their leg and they'll be hanging for however long it takes for them to go across into the part where they finally kill them. So, well, this might be...
It's Ruth. Actually, I think Bronwyn just sent a text message saying Ruth is on her way.
Okay, I might have to...
Okay, so yeah, I hope that answered your question, Linda. And yeah, thank you for the questions. Cool. Okay, not sure where we're at. What I'll do is I'll just wait for Nervous Rider to come back. So we got Jason Barden. Yeah, cool, guys. If you can just talk amongst yourselves for a little while, that'd be great. And we'll just figure out what's happening. I say, Ruth. Okay. Not a problem. So we're just on standby. Hi, JC.
I'll have to get it to come in because
Okay, cool.
that's too heavy to...
How old is Ellie?
Ellie's almost 5. She'll be 5 on the 15th of October.
Yeah, so 5. Yeah. Thanks for the question. I might just come around and have a look-see. She'll probably be a little bit busy for a while. We've got a piece of equipment coming in. So I'll try and go back through those for you, Linda, and I might try and ask her those. Yeah, so stick around. Thank you. I just want to thank everyone for being here today. It really does help the channel and helps Nervous Rider out. Oftentimes it's very difficult to afford hay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this channel possibly in the future monetized. So every like that you guys hit with the like button, it definitely does help out quite a bit. Thank you. Bit of a warm day. Let's go and see what Tacking's doing. Guys, that's a good question, Linda. Who is a nervous rider? Well, if you have a look at this channel, there is actually a landing page where it's kind of like an intro, and it kind of just teaches you all about this channel. And it's basically, yeah, it'll be sitting on the actual channel. So if you have a look there, it's a bit of an ad that I shot a couple years ago. So yeah, have a look at that, and kind of just gives you a bit of a overview about the channel and what you can expect on the channel. We got Little Diamond, ride the horse. Hi, Little Diamond. Awesome. So cool. Mr. Tacking, Mr. Naughty Tacking. He's not really naughty, he's just himself. That's the great thing about horses. They really they're genuine. They've got no pretense. If they don't like you, they will let you know pretty quickly. And yeah, they're not fake. Horses are definitely not fake. And oftentimes they see what they want and they'll just go for it. So we can learn a lot from them in that way. It's like Mr. Tacking here. He wants to eat the phone. Little Diamond says, ride a horse. Well, I'll tell you what, Little Diamond, if I had to actually get on a horse right now and ride, I would be injured pretty quickly, because I haven't ridden probably maybe 3 or 4 years. Okay, Linda asks, what do you guys do with the Shetland, or just a buddy for the other horses? Also, he's trying to eat the phone. he's actively trying to eat the phone. Okay, so basically with the little guy here, he's a great teaching tool. And so oftentimes, you know, we've got the horses here, the large horses, but it's great to see horse behavior in kind of like a microcosm with him, because he just, you know, he is a little horse. You know, he's not actually a Shetland. He's just a small horse. But yeah, some of the behaviors and stuff, he's a lot easier to work with. So as a kind of a prerequisite to working with the larger ponies, he's very helpful in that way. So yeah, thank you. What time is it there? Can I walk a horse? I probably could, you know. The funny thing is with this little guy, you can trick him into thinking that he's got a lead around his, what are they doing over there? You can trick him into thinking he's got a lead on, but I can't remember how to do that. Yeah, but he will hook on, and he can be led. So is Szara here. She's coming up. She normally doesn't like me very much, but she's coming up, and you know, if I work with her enough, me not really knowing that much about horses at all, she will hook on to me and she will lead to some degree. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, this is kind of a different world to me, but I try and pick up and absorb as much as I possibly can. Hi, JC, how are you going? Fluffy, he is very fluffy. It's about the afternoon, I think. Yeah. What does she do when she rides? Because I saw her on her, her on for a few seconds, and then she got off. So basically, Szara, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of her temperament. She is extremely well behaved. She is a horse that will look after you when you ride with her. She has her own mind, and she basically likes to make decisions on her own. But to some degree, you do want a horse that will do that. You don't want a horse that will just have to be told everything to do. You want to try to instill, whenever you're doing groundwork with a horse, you want to instill that sense of decision making within them that is correct. And that all just comes down to really, everything starts on the ground. Riding is one thing, but if you haven't got a horse that is listening to you on the ground, you are not going to have their attention when you're riding. So this is one of the foundations of I believe with Nervous Riders teachings is if you can have their mind on the ground, you can have their mind when you're riding, and you're going to have a much better, much safer, and much more enjoyable riding experience. So yeah. So she babies you, looks over to you. I love that. There is a little bit, now I will say about Szara here, she does have some approval seeking behavior sometimes, but I love the fact that she has her own mind most of the time. Kind of behavior, but that's because also she's so young. Szara here has had a lot more experience, and therefore sometimes things can be perceived as attitude with her, but I think a lot of the time it's just that she knows so much now, and she's been taught so much. It's kind of like some things, like with me in particular, if I'm trying to like work on the ground with her, she goes to me like, come on, Josh, we've been through this a million times. You don't know what you're doing. Come on, let's just move. Let's do this. It's like, ugh, I don't want to have to do this crap. He doesn't know what he's doing. So that's kind of like, that's just her way of just letting me know, look, I know what I'm doing. So just move on. Let's move on. Let's get this stuff done. And oftentimes you can actually see the relief, when the pressure's on with me, with her, as opposed to, Nervous Rider over there, because Nervous Rider will come around and it'll be like, oh, thank God Mom's here. This idiot doesn't know what he's doing. Like she's literally having to work with me sometimes, and it's like, it's just annoying for her, sort of thing. So, but that's a good thing, and that kind of just it's a good thing for Nervous Rider to see, because it's kind of teaching her from a third-party standpoint what's happening with her training and how it's paid off, and those kinds of things. A bit of a long-winded answer, sorry. Is it breaking up? Okay, we'll try and come back over here. How many hands? I think, you know what, I don't want to say. I have no idea how many hands Szara is. I don't want to say. I will, we'll just wait until Nervous Rider gets back and she can answer that question. I want to say 12 hands or 12.5. I'm just not sure. This little guy here, I think he's probably, what do you guys think? How many hands high do you reckon he is? do they even, do they measure small horses in hands? Yeah, I know a little bit, but I don't know very much. And they're kind of a mystery to me, horses, a little bit. So it is kind of a thing. I do know that he wants to eat the phone. He probably thinks it's like an ice cream sandwich or something. Very cool. Well, you guys have been awesome today. That would be awesome. And that's the thing. We do like to learn from you guys as well. It's not that, I mean, I'll say me in particular, I don't know a whole lot. I try and listen, and I try and do a few things, but the more you guys, like, if Nervous Rider's busy, you can say to me, if I'm just idly standing here, like, maybe don't stand too close to him or whatever. And that's the one thing I do know. I will tell you, standing close to a horse, like, for me, has actually historically been a pretty darn deadly thing. Because one time, I actually, years and years before, not with these guys, but I got between two horses that were actually, they were having their dinner time. And I didn't realize this, but that's a big no-no. If you stand between horses and their food, that's when they're kind of at their most vulnerable in the wild, and they can respond pretty viscerally and viciously. So I ended up actually getting kicked in the hand, and you can actually see my knuckles here. I got kicked in the hand probably about 10 times in about a couple of seconds, and I didn't realize. I actually thought I got stung by like a wasp or something, but it was actually the horses kicking me repeatedly in the hand. So I learned very quickly, do not get between a horse and their food. So down to their hoof, I think to the ground. Okay, so we have, at the moment, we've got 5 horses in total, including this little guy. So, yeah. Thanks for the questions, guys. You guys have been awesome. Wow, we've got 21 people in the chat, and we have 21 likes. Everything's matching up. You guys have been great. So cool. So does the hair on the mane, does that actually count for the, does that count for the height? I'm not too sure about that. I don't know. I do know he's pretty adorable. Oh, that's cool. I had no idea. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so yeah, we got that piece of equipment dropped off, and I think Nervous Rider might be on her way back. So any questions you guys might have that I possibly can't answer, we'll be able to get back to you. It starts from the last hair on the mane to the ground. Hey, that's pretty cool. I had no idea. I really had no idea about that. Either to the ground or the hoof. Hey. That's pretty neat. I didn't know. I really didn't know. See, I was thinking like hands high. Does it mean like, I mean, obviously it's like with my hand, but could I show close up to his mane? I'll definitely try. Huh. He's got a very nice mane. Hey, Bubby. He's a bit of a dust. He's a bit of a dust bunny because he loves to roll. Very dusty he gets. The withers, I wouldn't have a clue. Hi, little diamond. Okay, so on top. So like, is it here? Is that his wither? So like here? Mehmet, I'm not gonna spank him. Come on, mate. I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to put you in timeout. Let's be respectful. So I'm looking. Okay, so where the bump is connecting the back and the neck. Okay, so we're on the neck here. So the wither should be. Is it that? Is that what you mean? Is that like this spot here? Or is it down here? Is that what you mean? Hang on. I'm not too sure. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Do you have any wild horses? Okay. So where the last hair is. Oh, so this is what you mean. Okay. Oh, okay, so that's the wither. Oh, I see. Okay, well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. So that's... Why did they call it the wither? We said... Mehmet says, sit on him and conquer Rome. I think Rome's already been... or did Rome conquer the world? I don't know. So the last hair to the ground. Okay, cool. Awesome. Pretty cool. Okay, so that's the wither. All right, that's pretty cool. I learned something every day. All right, we should be having Nervous Rider coming back pretty soon because I'm kind of out of my depth with some of these things. I know a little bit, but I don't know. I just don't know that much. Oh yeah, it is strange. Some of the terms they have for horses are very strange. Like I understand things about girth and like some of the other things, but a little bit having to do with like stuff like wither. Oh wow! Hey, I'll get that pulled up with the tractor later. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So do we have any wild horses? We've had some horses here that have had some kind of wild behaviors. But the great thing is Angie has been able to actually work a very long time. And I'll tell you something right now. In my experience, I did actually get in the round yard here with Ellie. And I had a very different style of actually working with horses on the ground. And my style didn't actually suit her personality. So I ended up on the wrong end of the stick with Ellie's, the way Ellie is. So that was pretty interesting. That was an interesting day for me. I actually went backwards, and I could show you the exact spot that I tripped in. I thought my life was over that day. So, but Ellie definitely taught me a very important lesson. So yeah. Okay, wait till the answer because someone named it that. Wild, as also known as Mustang. Mustang. Oh, I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, I think in my experience, it's been Ellie that has probably been the wildest for me working with just a little bit. But yeah, thanks for the questions, guys. We've got Nervous Rider back again. Cool. Ah, brand on the neck. Yeah, I did notice. Can I tack up a horse? I would not have a clue. I do know a little bit, but it's often hard for me to remember the procedure. And sometimes it can be a very frustrating thing. So I leave all that to Nervous Rider.
You wouldn't know the end of the saddle from the back of the saddle, front of the saddle from the back of the saddle. You have no idea. But that's okay.
I do know don't stand behind a horse. That's what I know.
He doesn't want to ride or have much to do with it, so it doesn't matter. He doesn't really do it.
Hi, Ellie. What you doing?
Same as me, I don't understand how to engineer music, nor do I want to know. I don't have the desire to do it. I might like music, but I don't want to know how to have to do all that.
I did get drunk one time, and I got on top of Henry over there in the other paddock, and I was like crazy. I went up and down the road, and I was jumping on and off, and that was pretty wild. Yeah, but yeah, Henry's used to.
To the pub and went home fasted.
Yeah.
Big old Mark.
I'd love to see that. No offense. Oh yeah, awesome. I disagree when people say that. Okay, so if you know a horse, you could be behind them all day. Yeah,
Also, you can't. This is the thing. I get your point of view, but that's very dangerous information to give people who are new to horses. I'll tell you why. You can't control the environment outside the horse. So no matter what you do, actually not long ago a woman got killed in Australia working with a horse in a racing stable. She had been working with horses her entire life and thought it was safe and she died. I never tell anybody that it's ever going to be 100% safe when you walk behind a horse. I can go around her a million times, nothing might happen, but if something happens one day and there's something that scares her, she's not going to think about me. That flight or fight response is far more powerful than any bond you have. And this is where people need to understand that. They don't understand common horse behaviour because it doesn't work the way that you'd like it to. And there's been so many people that have died with horses because they have this innate belief that they know their horse so well and their horse would never do anything to them. It's easy to fall into that, but you really are, you're very foolish when you do fall into that. You should always count in every factor. It's not just your horse, it's the environment around the horse. You can have the most perfect day and all it takes is one bird to swoop down and the horse hasn't seen that kind of bird before and poof, off they go. I broke my back being too confident, let me tell you. I knew what I was doing, but I still broke my back because I didn't realise there was a big bird in the bush behind me on a green pony. I nearly died. I came off her because she got stung by a wasp. It was nothing to do with the way I ride, it was nothing to do with her, it was a factor that's completely out of control. So I don't agree with the fact that you can walk around a horse all day long and be safe. You can't. It's impossible to know what's going to happen. You can eliminate as much as you possibly can any external influences that may cause a problem, and that's a very good thing to do. You can set yourself up for as much success as you can possibly do, but you can't control the external environment. So when I'm teaching young people who want to work with horses, the very first thing I say to them is, there is a way, you should always have a healthy fear of a horse. And when I say a healthy fear, be respecting the fact that this animal can kill you very quickly. It's a lot bigger than us. It thinks very differently to us. Sometimes we project our own thoughts onto the horse and we think that the horse is thinking like us, but they don't. They have a one-track mind. They're either on food or they're on, let's get out of here. That's how they work. And they can be very intelligent, of course. But when it comes down to it, the primal instinct's going to be way, way more stronger than anything we try to put into them. That's why people still get injured. Otherwise, there'd be nobody getting injured if that were the case. But I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think it's really good advice to tell people. For me, I would never say that to somebody, that you're safe going behind a horse all day long. I'd never say that.
Linda says, I saw someone's horse getting bit by a horsefly with them on, their horse wanting to buck, but they don't. And then the horse with no rider was bucking and kicking.
Yeah. Did they have their reins held up so the horse couldn't drop its head? Have a look at it and see if that's what's happening, because that's the thing, a horse can't buck while its head's up. So if they've got their head up, when she got stung, you can watch the video of what happened with me. We're going along beautifully quietly, it's calm and quiet, everything's good. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she gets stung and it's in an instant, she's gone. I could hardly even get myself back forwards in the saddle. She flicked me back. I don't know how I didn't come off at first. And then what happened was, she didn't buck. I could tell she wanted to, but she didn't because I had the reins. As soon as I let the reins go and was ready to jump, she bucked. So,
Right, yep. So Linda says they weren't jerking their horse's head up though.
They weren't? Oh, well, different horses react differently. It could have been she just might have a horse that doesn't react while someone's on there. Some horses are like that, other horses react no matter what you do. So I don't know, it depends on your own experience, but I go on what I've experienced in my life, and I've been on several horses over the years. I've also broken in several horses over the years and worked with them, and worked with ones that other people won't touch. Some horses I've had to say, this is not going to work, this horse is going to have behaviour for the rest of its life, it needs a certain person, and that's what it needs. Other horses I go, not a problem, we can give this horse to a child. It's just a matter of the horse you're dealing with. And she's going to probably...
Bye, Ozzy. Hope you come back soon.
So she's already showing me that she's going to give me a hard time.
Hi,
We did all
Rivas.
this yesterday.
I can't remember German Rivas. Herman. Sir Herman. Welcome back, Herman. Thank you. Okay, Lil Diamond says, tack up a horse in this order. Halter, then western saddle, then leave the halter on and put the bridle on. Oh, is that how you saddle a horse, Little Diamond?
We can do it all different ways.
It's all very different.
It's all very different, and this is the thing. Some people won't put the bridle on last, some people put the bridle on first, some people don't want to ride with a saddle. It just depends on you and the horse. I prefer to put the saddle on first and leave the bridle till last. It's just the way I've always done it. Just depends on how you want to work with your horse and what works better for you and the horse.
Linda says she only uses western, but I only use one ear bridle and no halter.
Oh yeah? That's good.
Pretty cool.
A lot of western riders where I am, and they're damn good riders, they're very good at what they do. And they've got really good cattle horses, very good at cutting. And actually I've got neighbours who do polo. Their horses are phenomenal, but I've also seen my neighbours be dragged through the paddock and almost killed many, many times over this too. And they're great riders, but things still happen. That's the whole thing. You can't control everything. If you're getting on a horse, you must have this in your mind. You must realise there is a very, very high chance and risk of injury whenever you get on any horse. It doesn't matter if it's this big or if it's 20 hands high. There's always a risk. You do what you can to eliminate the risk, And see, I'm extremely, extremely nervous because I have had so many accidents over time. And
Thank you, Herman.
I'm
Herman,
so close to.
Herman says, well, I'm going now. Good luck with your project, Swan. You're definitely capable of instruction people online.
Thank you, Herman. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a great day. And see, today, she's a lot better today. Now, I've been going
Thank you,
the last
Linda.
4 or 5 days with her carrying on ever since we had the bridal incident 3 weeks ago. She's going to still give me a little bit of a, I don't want to do, but she's not doing the silliness and foolishness she was carrying on with a few days back. Because I've taken it slow and got it back into realising, you know, this is what's going to happen. There's a big tractor.
Hi, Noelle.
And it's fascinating when you go to a, I'm not a horse, I don't go with horse shows, but whenever I've gone to the Easter show and I watch other people, everybody at the Easter show does things differently. But what really amazes me is how horrible that they are to one another, and they just attack each other. That's why I have nothing to do with it. But it's because they all want to be right, and it's about the ego. You can't have an ego and work well with a horse, because if you let your ego get in the way and you don't listen to the horse, what you're going to end up doing is getting really badly, seriously hurt. You can still get seriously hurt doing absolutely everything right.
Linda has to go, I think. Well,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your input, and I hope you have a great time the next time you go for a ride. Good riding, doing Western and doing the one-eared bridle.
Linda doesn't have to go. Sorry, I was reading the hand waves, and I thought that might have been you have to go. Sorry about that. Welcome back.
I admire the rest. If I was going to do anything like showing, I would go in a Western. I'd do Western. I like that. I'm not a dressage person. My friend does a bit of dressage stuff, and she's really good. She's very knowledgeable. But I like the bush. I like battering around in the bush. And I just like, now I'm old and I've had a stroke and I've got a broken back and I've got 4 slip discs in my neck. I have to be very careful. So now the round yard is pretty much where I'm at.
Blue Dragonfly, hi, how are you going? Linda says, I do barrels.
Oh, yep. Ellie's done barrels too. We were starting barrels before all our accident happened, weren't we, miss? She actually likes doing that. She's good at it. Got a good turn on her. Now, let me think. I'm going to let her go for a walk and get that girth. All right, Miss Elle, let's go. Okay. See how lazy she is today. Look how slow she moves off. Walk on, good girl. But at least she's walking for me. She's not going to fight me on it. So that's a good thing. A win is a win. If they're listening and they're doing it slowly, that doesn't matter. We can always increase speed later on. What I want is her to listen to me and not be sour about it. And you can see she's got nice ears today. She's a lot better than she was yesterday or the day before. She's a lot happier and she's more pleasant in the face. Got a good look on her. Happy to walk around. Not causing me a problem. Not trying to cut in or get at me. And again, young horses will surprise you. Not a lot of people have the privilege of working with a horse from a young age. And she was 14 months old, I think, when we got her, or 15 months old. So she had 15 months to learn how to bully this poor woman around. She used to pin the lady against the brick wall with her backside. She was only a 14-year-old at that stage. Keep out, good girl. Walk on. And she's going to turn. She's going to turn. Turning. And she's going to do it. Let's let her do her thing. Good girl. I'll just grab that shovel and get that toilet up. Yeah.
I think people who can do barrel racing and things like that, that's pretty wild. You know, even getting up on a horse for me is pretty crazy, like the confidence that takes. But barrel racing, wow, that's amazing. And what Nervous Rider does.
To do that. It takes guts to do that. It takes guts to do tenning as well. Anything to do with cattle is you've got to have guts. Now, when I was younger, I had guts. I used to ride bulls and all lots of stuff. I've broken 3 donkeys. I've broken a bull that was rideable. But nowadays, I'm about to turn 50. I've got no cartilage in my knees. Broke my L4 and L5 in my back. Lucky it was down below. I've got 4 discs in my neck that are out. So getting on a horse at all is pretty dangerous. So I risk it every time I do. And it's because I love doing it. And it keeps me fit and healthy. And if I could go back in time and... See, I used to ride a lot to the beach and I used to swim through the ocean a lot on my horse. We used to go on big treks every Sunday. One day I'll have to show you guys some photos of me on the horse that I used to ride. With the stock horse. You've been above Black Knight, his name was. That stunt's no longer around anymore, so can't get any of his bloodlines now. He was gelding. No, that's it.
Yep. Okay, so I know y'all probably don't care, but I was going to ride one day and didn't go as expected. Not all rides are perfect,
Yeah.
and that go as planned, and that's okay. So what I had to do instead was he wanted to go to his F dash. I don't know what that is. Sorry, POD, food. Oh, food. Yeah, so he wanted to go to his food, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, and so then he rested away from his food. Cool.
Yeah, they don't always do what we want. That's the thing. They've got a mind of their own, and they're an animal. They don't think the same way as us. So, honestly, if people are actually really truly honest, if you gave the horse a microphone and it could speak English, it would probably say to you, "I don't want to ever be ridden." Every horse would probably tell you that. But some get used to it and they get enjoyment out of going out. Others, they just never want to. There's nothing you can do. It just depends.
So she worked him in circles till he's a bit tired, and then she let him rest. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. And that's the whole thing. You've got to make it their idea, and the way that you do that is exactly what you're saying there. If they're not going to listen, and you get them to keep their feet moving, keep them moving. And if they say they're doing something like pawing at you, with her when she paws at me, I like to give her a job where she has to lift her feet up, and it has to happen over and over again. So that pawing action happens over and over again. It's work. Then she equates it to work, and she says, "I'm not going to do that anymore." So yeah, you've got to be pretty smart with them.
So she says, "I'm glad that I have a baby brain horse, though, because it teaches me." That's right.
Yeah.
And he's the horse that actually is teaching me how to ride.
Exactly, and that's exactly what you want. The horse teaches us. I still learn from my horses. Make no mistake of it. She has taught me more than any other horse I've had. She's been the most difficult horse. And to look at her, you would say, there's no way she's difficult. But she is. She's not as difficult nowadays because I've done a lot of work to get her to the stage where she listens and does the right thing. But
Hi, little diamond.
you've got to work hard at it, and she's going to tell me she's not happy about this either. Can you go up one more?
And not just horses that are fully trained like robots at lessons.
Well, a lot of those horses are very old, and they just have lost the ability to even try to get somewhere. So they just give in. Their spirit's broken. They don't have much of a spirit left. So they're called schoolmasters.
Yep.
And they're great for learners, but they don't really teach. They're good to learn on in the sense of getting your balance.
That's right.
After that, you need something that's going to actually challenge you.
Yeah.
And keep you going. Yeah.
Exactly. And Linda says, exactly, I like a bit of difficult. And also
That's
why I
I've got
put
to
up
learn.
with food because of the word amount. It's not bad about the, I'm sorry, it's a little bit difficult to read in the sunlight. Hang on. So no, it's not bad about the horse. It's just for beginners.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you get a horse, a lot of people get their first pony and then they get bored with it very quick. Kids get bored real quick.
Stacy loves your horse. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you. This is actually not my horse. This is my daughter Rachel's horse. But Rachel's scared of her and won't ride her because she's seen what Ellie is capable of doing when Ellie throws a tantrum and gets upset. So she's kind of avoided her. I'm going to ask Ellie to come for a
Hi,
walk.
Stacy.
We'll go for a walk on our own. Up. Let's move on. Good girl. And it is a lazy time of day for her. So I want her to not use cameraman as her shield, because that's another thing that this horse does. She will hide behind the camera guy and try to get out and tap into work. And she's actually been really good. Now, can you see, because you've been watching for the last 4 or 5 days that I've gone on with her, the big difference from 4 or 5 days ago when the attitude was shocking, because she hasn't been worked for so long.
Yep.
And because she had a really bad time the last time. We had, unfortunately, one of the learning people accidentally, and it was my fault because I should have warned her, and I've been watching exactly what was happening, but she took a bridle off and the horse had her head in the air when she did it, and then the horse pulled back and she pulled on it, it smashed into the bottom of her teeth. Go to the other side.
Yep. Okay, so Linda asks, by the way, are you two related? No, this is actually my ex-wife of nearly 20 years.
Yeah. Still technically married. Haven't been up before the divorce. Okay. Walk on, good girl. So I'm just going to keep her walking. She's nice and relaxed with some motorbikes coming through.
Yes.
So what was the question?
Are you two related?
Oh. If you want to call a marriage certificate relation, I suppose that probably was in that way, but not genetically. So that little skip we had there, a little bit of a, I'm going to move it back out from here.
Linda asks, do you do lives every day?
Most days, yeah. It depends on the weather and whether or not the horses are fit. They're usually fit. It's usually not me that's not fit. Good girl. You can't go? Lovely. And back to wall. Rock to the hand wall. Come in. Good girl.
Sorry, I tripped over your line.
Job. Just going to get a bit of a stretch here. Lovely. Good girl. Lovely.
Hi, Summer.
Stretch here. Just a slow one. We don't want to pull her legs out of order. Note that she hands me her feet. I don't have to pull on her or anything else. She's been trained very well to give. And how I do that, I can teach you that at some point. It looks like magic, but it's a lot of hard work to get them to the point where they'll just automatically do everything, and it's consistency. Just get her to wait here. Actually, I'll leave that on. Wait here for a minute. We're going to try this is the big thing that's going to show me whether she's really getting back into a good spirit or not. Stay. Girl, stay. The other thing I try to teach my horses is, unless I ask them to come with me, I want them to stay where I've left them, not to walk around and be silly while I'm gone. And she's actually pretty good at that. For her age and for how long she's been worked with, she's actually darn good at it. So that's good. Now ask for a drop. Drop. Girl. Now, after we had the bad incident a couple of weeks back, it took 45 minutes to get her to take a bit. Because all she remembered from the last time having the bit on, stop, was she got her teeth smashed. It wasn't the lady's fault, but when a horse has its head up here, her instinct was to pull on the reins to try to keep the horse from running away, when she really should have just let it go because she didn't realise it was going to pull down and smash into her teeth and it hurt like a fucker. So I do not blame her for having the reaction that she's had. Now, the first time we went to put a bit near her after that had happened, she was basically going backwards and tried to escape as quickly as she could. So what I've been doing is every time I go to put the bit on, we're taking our time. We're not rushing or forcing anything. And we're going to get her to enjoy a bit of a slow process.
Yes, thank you, Linda. Let's keep those questions coming in as well, because we all love to learn.
Drop, drop, drop.
This is one of my favorite parts because she'll just accept that bit, and this is a wonderful way of doing it because Nervous Rider's making it her idea.
If she goes up higher, I just let that hang there on her. I just don't let her get away with it coming off. The minute she pops her head right up there and that comes off, I've taught her that's how you get out of getting bridled. So now we're going to take another step, and I'm going to get ready to bring the bit up to where her mouth is so she can feel that bit there. I'm going to ask her to drop. So she's starting to get a little antsy there. I'm going to ask her to drop. Now see how she's just doing a bit of a chew there? And it's all good because we're still right where we're at. And again, we're just going to get ready and let her feel that without forcing or doing anything other than letting her just feel that touch. And while she's feeling that touch, she's thinking inside her mind and preparing herself. And we're going to take it down. We're not going to take this part off until she drops. When she drops, then we're going to move that away. I'm going to leave her for a second and let her think about that, and watch the release she gets here. She's thinking about that. She's going, oh yeah, okay. Nothing bad's happening. We haven't quite got it in there, but we're relaxed. And look how relaxed she is. Big yawn, big stretch. The other thing we can do to relax them is pop his thumb in and just touch gently on the side of the mouth, and it just gets them to open that jaw up and release a little bit of the jaw, so that when you do pop the bit in, they're not so tight in the jaw. Because a lot of horses will clench when it comes to putting the bit on. You'd be surprised how many horses that get ridden every single day clench the hell out of their jaw because they're worried about getting the bit in.
Yes, so Linda, one thing about the Nervous Rider doesn't actually use treats at all, and there's a whole reasoning behind that. She'll probably explain to you in just a second.
Yeah, so I don't use treats because, number one, using food, I consider it to bridles. You're not really getting their mind, what you're getting is their greed. So their stomach is what's working, not their brain. They're not thinking along with you. So it's a lot quicker and easier to bribe them with some food, but you're not going to get an actual, true, honest response when you do it that way. So I never ever use food as a bribe with horses. I don't care if it takes me 6 hours to go into a paddock and catch one. It took me that with Szara when I first got her. I went out there and I literally ran for 6 hours until I got her to come back to me. And then after that, I never had to do that again. So had I used carrots or something like that, I would always had to have had something there, and it wouldn't be an honest response from the horse. It's like us, if we don't, if we get bribed all the time, we don't really respect that. Horses don't really respect it either, so I'm very much a believer that don't use food to bribe them if we can possibly help it. If you're in a dangerous situation and the horse has escaped somewhere and stand on a road and you've got to use a bit of hay to catch it and bring it in, by all means, you use it then. But for learning and teaching how to put bridles in, bits in, and doing your everyday stuff, you want to try to just get it done without that if you possibly can. Because you're going to get a better horse out of it. I ask her to drop, and she says, now I just made a mistake then. Does anybody know what the mistake was? Made a very big mistake. Anyone know? What I did, now I'm only lightly touching, so if she wants to lift her head up at any point she can. What I did was, as soon as she went to lift, I pulled down. Instead of having her head down, and pulling away. I waited, and when her head was up, I pulled away. I forgot to keep it there, which then teaches her that she lifts her head up to get everything gone. So that was where I made a mistake. And we will make mistakes. We're human. We shall make mistakes over and over and over again, probably in our lifetime. The more that we practice, the better we get at it.
Thank you, Linda. And yes, every horse is different, and sometimes trying things in certain ways are the best way to go. But yes, they definitely can learn, and that's right.
She's about to take the bit, and there she is.
So Jamie asks, "Is that a mule?" And Linda, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's definitely not a mule.
And see how I don't have to lift myself up. She drops for me. Ooh. And just see that, just then something's behind us there that scared her. I don't know what that is. I heard something move over there. And there you go. You can be standing there peaceful and quiet on the quietest horse on the planet, and it can change in a second. It's not always what you think it is. You can't control the environment externally. You can see there, patience and being calm around the horse yields a good result. And the other thing is, a lot of people don't teach their horse how to yield, which is putting the head down like that. That's the most important thing you can teach one. And that's what I do. The very first thing I ever do with a horse, apart from getting it to hook onto me beforehand, because I don't like to catch them with ropes and drag them in. Whenever I get a wild horse that I'm going to work with that's never been touched apart from getting trucked to me, she was like that. I never ever used ropes or halters or anything for probably the first few weeks. What I do is I go in and I do a lot of groundwork, liberty, with nothing there.
And yes, Linda, definitely. Not trying to be rude. I just want you to consider thinking when you say info, it's not true for everyone, and that is true, Linda. Because oftentimes horses are very different. I've learned very much on a personal account working with this particular horse that my method of working with her did not work. And it actually nearly cost me my life because I was actually using a very old style of working with horses and horsemanship, which is basically a very forceful way. And so I learned very quickly that with this horse, if you do not make it her idea to do something, she will not do it, and you are actually risking your life by trying to force it.
Yeah.
So yes, I can totally agree. Every horse is different. Hey, Lean Bear. Hey, Matt. How you going? Hey, man.
Yeah, and I've been saying that from ever since I've been ever teaching anybody anything. It's not that I'm actually teaching them, I'm guiding them while they're learning from the horse. But there are some things that you want to sort of really pay attention to, like the things like making sure that you're reading the body language really well on the horse before you start anything. And if they're really, really adamant that there's something going on, maybe get your chiro out, maybe get the vet out and have a good check, the dentist out, have a good check and make darn sure there's nothing going on. I communicate with all three of my horse chiropractor, dentist and vet, and they know her quite well, and yeah, I always make sure that there's nothing going on physically or mentally for her that's causing the problem that displays a manifested behaviour. I often get criticised for that a lot by people, and they're just like, you know what, you're in charge, you just do this and the horse will have to do it. Well,
exactly, and that leads us to our next point. And Linda asks, what was I doing exactly? Well, I'll basically demonstrate pretty much. I was using very loud voice commands, and I was trying to basically get the horse to behave for me by use of, basically like cracking the whip, things like that. I did get angry, and this is the thing. What people don't realize is horses can push your buttons like no one else can. And basically, me being not very experienced at all, not having the kind of patience that is required, no beating involved, Linda, not at all. What I was doing is basically I was raising my voice and basically trying to get the horse to move by basically cracking the whip on it. This horse does not respond to that, and it's actually extremely dangerous to exhibit anything like that to this horse, because she is very much an alpha mare, and alpha mares can destroy you very quickly.
Yep. If you're not sure what an alpha mare is, or anyone else isn't sure what an alpha mare is, this is wouldn't think so to look at her because she seems very quiet, but you put her in a pack with another set of horses. She's the one who's going to be bossing a stallion around and telling the stallion who he can and can't mate with. And the alpha mare's actually got a lot more pull in a herd than a stallion has. So they behave a bit stalliony. They can be very, very aggressive. And it depends on the dynamic they're in. They can get really, really nasty with the other mare horses and the geldings. So she's the sort of horse, if I was to take her to a show and there was a bunch of other horses there, she would be trying her darndest to get herself right up in amongst them and push them back and make them move away. That's how she does things. Whenever we've taken her out and up the road, she's tried to do that with the neighbours' horses.
Exactly. And the other thing is too, I think there is a level of ego that's involved, especially when males get involved, or actually male instructors or males in general who will work with a female horse. They think that biologically the female is going to respond quicker or better in that way, and that's not the case with an alpha mare. Basically, I was in a very deadly situation by working with her on the way. I was very lucky. So I have a very healthy respect for alpha mares, and with this horse in particular. Yes, Celine Bear, thank you so much. Ballad of the Alpha Mare, exactly. They're very formidable.
And a lot of times they'll have what is classed as wolf teeth as well. Mostly only stallions and stallions will get, geldings will have them because they get cut. So they've got those teeth in there. And oftentimes they have to take them out. They're extra little teeth that come up. There's also wolf teeth at the back. So there's a few different things, and a lot of people don't know. A lot of people aren't educated in things like that. I made it my business to get educated in it because I've been dealing with, and also the other thing that I did is I didn't just go and read things. I went and watched other horses in big herds and watched what they did when there's no interference with a human being. And you can watch things on like National Geographic and stuff like that. You watch a wild herd of horses and you see exactly how brutal they can be. They're actually very gentle with us compared to how they treat one another. So we're quite lucky with our modern horses, with their ability to see. As soon as I get up there, she's going to step back, and I'm going to say, let's park. Here we go. Good girl.
And I'll quickly say as well, there were a lot of social cues that the horse was actually exhibiting to me, trying to tell me, to warn me that I was not paying attention to. Number one, and Nervous Rider will talk about this from time to time, is the eye, paying attention to what her eye is doing. The other thing is the swishing of the tail. There are certain stances that the horse can take to actually tell you whether they are feeling aggressive or feeling threatened. And those things, if you miss them, they can mean your life. So
they could also mean there's a fly behind them as well. So you've got to really watch and see what's happening, because there's many, and see she's freaking out right now because they're moving cattle over there. She's going to go over and try and get herself into a stance, and this is where her dominance comes out. She wants to control everything that's moving around her. So if we put a bunch of sheep or cattle in here now, she would be like, okay, I'm going at that cow. So she likes to be in control of everything. Just watch her body language and see the head's up high. Watch the tail will start to lift a little bit here and there. And she's wanting to know where those cows and sheep are going. And they're about to move a few cows back down this way. So it's very interesting that. Now, I'm not going to get on her while she's doing this because I know what's going to happen with her, and for me, if I got on her, I'd have to get straight off. So there's no point in me getting on until this is all over with and I have the guts to get on. Because my nerves, what I don't want to do is teach her the wrong thing by jumping on there and then jumping off as soon as there's anything happening. I'd rather let the thing happen and then get on when I'm set myself up to be successful, because I am petrified of riding. And in the absolute best of circumstances, let alone in a circumstance like this. And you can see her body language there. She's like, oh, what's going on over here? I want to go and have a look. I want to see what's going on. She's right into paying attention to that. She's not listening to anything but that. So let's let her have a moment doing that. cattle are going down the road.
Very intense eyes indeed, Lean Bear. Thank you. Linda says, could I give a tip for training to not move at the block?
What do you mean by don't move at the block? I don't know what you mean. She knows how, okay, so she knows how to park herself. So she's coming back over here to me anyway. Coming in because she's feeling a little bit threatened by those cows. She's going away for
She
the
says
other
not moving away.
Well, I appreciate your tip.
When you stand at the block, not moving away.
Yeah, I appreciate your tip. And that makes sense for you. I can get up and down off that block 100 million times. My horses will still do the right thing when it's time for me to get on and mount. I'm just not interfering with her right now because her attention and her focus is on what's going on over there. So she's more in a flight mode right now and a fight mode than she is in a let's get on and listen to you mode. So I'm greeting her as well as I should be, and I'm waiting for her to settle herself down. And then I'll show you what I mean. She won't move from that block when I get her where I want her. I know exactly what I'm doing. Trust me. But I do appreciate you.
Yes, thank you, Linda. We do appreciate the tip. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find that Angela is more than willing to listen, and she will try things from time to time. But there are some things. It's like me whenever I do some of my streams. I'm very set in my ways, and
When I trained her from
yeah.
the get-go, I didn't move from block whatsoever.
Exactly.
But I can do it now because she has an understanding of when I want her at the block and when I don't want her at the block. So this horse is very good at understanding how to, we say park to her. Park. She knows how to park, she knows how to move forward, she knows when to do whatever she wants to do. So if I ask her to come up and park up a little bit more, get her focused there, ask her to drop for a second. I'm just going to ask her to drop a little bit so she's just relaxing a little bit. There's those people over there. A lot of stuff is taking attention. Just drop and relax. Good girl. She's a young horse. She's very green. She's not 20 years old. We've had everything done over and over and over again. She's very green. So we work slow, and that's what we do. And each to their own. If you're successful working faster and doing things differently, that's good for you and it's good for your horse. With this horse, I have to work differently than what I do with the others. So it's not always logical to other people because other people don't live here 24 hours a day and see all the behaviours and things that happen. So to me, this is very logical, and I'd be stupid to change what I do because I would have a big fight on my hands. But it's not about how quick I do things, and that's why I love my chiropractor. He's a very big man at saying to people, it's not about what you can or can't do, it's about how you read your horse and what sort of communication you have with your horse. So it's not really about trying to be the best at barrels or racing or anything else. It's about communicating with your horse in a way that your horse is going to understand what it is you're asking them to do.
Yes, Linda, that's exactly. And a lot of the times it is a process of repeating things to get things ingrained into the horse's mind, so that every next time you get on, it's a seamless transition.
And you can see here she's going to move there at the moment.
And also
Turn this way.
the fact that she's so young, the repetition is very much a very good thing for her to help that get ingrained.
Now I'm going to move her away from here. I'm going to back her up and get her to move away. Okay. Come on, back. She's trying to push me, so I'm going to push back. Back. I'm going to get down and move back.
Thank you, William. I totally forgot how old she was. She's 5, yes. Hami, hello.
And she's flared up a bit because of what's happening over there. You guys can't see it, but they've got a heap of sheep were running like crazy and they had a heap of cattle.
Linda's horse is also 5. Cool. Awesome.
You must have a very, very, very cool, quiet horse then. And that's, you're very lucky. That's the case, you're very, very lucky. I mean, don't get me wrong, this horse is quiet. I can play guitar on him.
Hi, Little Diamond. Welcome back.
There's also, if you look over there, there's kangaroo there. So that will also be something that she's focusing on.
Let's see, where are they at? Probably way, way off in the distance.
You probably won't be able to get to it.
Oh no, I see him. He's right by the flag there. Can you guys see right in the middle of your screen? There's a roo just sitting right there. He's like a,
Watching him.
he's a sentry looking out. There he goes. He's bounding away.
And she's watching him. And she's
Look
a
at him.
bit wary. Oh, there's 2. And so she's a little bit wary.
There he
of those
goes.
kangaroos there.
So isn't it amazing? They can see all that far away. It's incredible. I couldn't even see that before.
Look at her.
Nose, she sees.
She's the one who got me. No, there's a kangaroo there.
But I think Nervous Rider here also has extremely good eyesight because I couldn't even pick that out. She told me.
No, neither did I watch her. I don't know what she's doing when she's looking at things. I know if there's actually something there or she's just being silly.
Isn't that amazing? It's really incredible.
So I don't settle up today. I'm just going to wait for her to get herself into a mode where she's feeling good. Last thing I want to do is rush her, and then she has a complete spaz out, and I get thrown off and put in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. Because I don't have a bunch of people who are going to look after me. Put it that way. There's even more up on the top of the ridge over there, so don't be surprised if a whole bunch of people come down. But let's wait for her to settle a bit. You always want to just, and this is the thing, if you are somebody who is nervous, and I'm a nervous person, you might not be nervous. But the people who are nervous, to where you are petrified of getting on, which is how I am. And there are reasons behind that. It's not just to do with horses. There's a lot of things I'm nervous about in this world. Now, if you are a nervous person in these kinds of situations, do not force yourself to do anything. Wait until you're calm enough and the horse is calm enough before you decide to do any movements or do anything. Because if you don't, you're going to set yourself up for failure. They read our heartbeat long before we even realise what's happening with our own body. So they can hear what's going on in here, and she can hear right now that my heart's probably going 100 miles an hour, probably double.
Linda says not quite quiet. He's in training, just working on a few small things. Not green, but young. He's still great. I love my horse, and I live on 2 things mainly. Cool.
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Have you got some videos up? Can you do some lives and stuff? I'd love to see it. Be cool. I like to see other people rock.
That would be cool, Linda.
A lot of people come on, but they can't show me anything, and I want to see what they do.
Oh, she has some. Awesome. Okay, great.
Well, I'll check your channel out and definitely give it. I'll subscribe to you and definitely give a look at what you do. I'm sure you probably are a lot more experienced than me. Now, this pouring thing is a result of watching little Toppy over there continuously pour all the time. She didn't do it for a long time. She did it when she was very young. She did it for a long time. And then he's been doing it, driving me insane.
Linda, if you could just quickly comment on one of Angie's videos, that way we can find your channel and have a look.
Yeah. Otherwise, I might not find it.
Because we might not be able to get back onto your channel.
Park up. Handle. Handle. That's too far forward now. You're too far forward, Bobby. So I'm going to stop mucking around here. We're getting a lot of wind coming up, and I don't want to be riding when it's completely crazily windy. Yeah.
Watch out. This guy's revving his car up there. Yes, Linda, this channel. If you can just comment on one of the videos, that way we can find your channel and have a look at you riding your horse. That'd be great.
I can't.
Otherwise, we can't actually find you. Yeah.
Anyway,
Thank you. Yeah, and if you wouldn't mind, if you can just leave one just on the channel video, the one that comes on the front there. It's just like a little introduction to as well, or just any video you like.
The easiest to do it on the most recent video I've done.
Yeah, recent video.
So I'll find it. Otherwise, I might not find it. Sometimes I get a whole heap of comments happening. So I'm going to ask her to just relax a bit and drop a bit. Doctor. So she's nice and relaxed. She's completely different to the other horse that I was riding earlier. And she's actually a far superior horse with the way that she responds. And that's because the other horse wasn't trained by me, it was trained by somebody else. I don't know who trained her, but whoever trained her come out super sour. I don't know if she's just sour anyway, but she's super sour.
Thanks, Linda. So Linda's going to comment right now.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Be right back. Okay, excellent.
I still feel like I'm going to fall continuously. Till I get my bearings. So what happens to me is when I'm going like this, I don't feel like I'm straight. I see I'm straight because I'm looking at the saddle and I'm looking where my feet are. But I don't feel in my brain's interpreting that I'm going forwards or backwards. Somehow I feel like I'm going backwards or sideways. So it's called vertigo and it's really a horrible thing to have. It basically is like having a driver's stroke that goes right out of control. So we're just going to walk.
Welcome back, Linda. Thank you.
Until I've got that under control. I'm just going to get her to listen to that red line there. The other thing I try to do with my horses is I try to ride them on a loose rein. Sometimes when you're mouthing a horse, actually Linda, do you break your own horses in? Or do you send them to somebody?
Okay, also, it was on the most recent vid she commented. Nervous Rider just asked you, Linda, do you break your horses in?
Or do you get them broken in by somebody?
Or do you get them broken in?
I'm just going to walk. I'm not going to
So he says, no, either. I didn't break mine in. I only have the one.
Okay, so I do break them in, and it's a bit different when you have to break them in yourself than if someone breaks them for you, because the work is then all on you. They don't come educated, of course. People have to make the mistake of believing that when they go to a breaker, they're going to come back with a horse that knows how to side pass and do this and do that. It doesn't work that way. All a breaker does, for about 6 weeks, they'll keep your horse, and all they'll do for you is mouth the horse and get the horse to where it's. So I'm going to ask you to move all that and not that. Just trying to go over the top of there. So the breaker will mouth the horse, back the horse, and get it to basically make sure it's not going to come back to you bucking the shit out of you. And if you watch what she's trying to do here, you don't avoid that, but I'm going to keep her right near there. If she wants to go over, so we'll say, all right. Go over.
So Linda does train her horse through the rough spots, yes.
Yeah. So there we go. She wanted to go over, so I made her go over. Now she says, I don't want to do that because it's work. And that's what you've got to really do. She's going to then try and rush me here. So she's wanting to rush me right now. She's wanting to go faster. And she's not wanting to listen to my instructions there. So she's giving me a hard time right now. It doesn't look like it. Because I make it look like it's not giving me a hard time, but she is giving me a hard time right now. She's not listening. So what I want to do I want to slow things down. I don't want to get her to a point where she thinks she can just top off and do whatever she wants, because that's what she's thinking right now. I can feel it because she's probably very tense.
So Linda does train her horse, although he was trained when she bought him. So basically, yep, it's a young horse,
You're
mainly
educating. You're educating.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Really good.
mostly aimed the training towards barrels and anything else. But yeah, cool.
That's really good. A lot of people don't. A lot of people send them to a trainer and then think that the job's all done. And then they actually have to learn how to train themselves, because the horse might behave for the trainer, but it might not behave when it gets a little bit back. And that's where people come undone, I think. It's always best if you can teach yourself and your own horse, and if you listen to your horse and you work with your horse well. That's the best result you're going to get, more than sending them anywhere else. Unless they're extremely dangerous and you want an opinion, and you want to make sure that it's not just you, there's something else going on where the horse is probably unrideable. There are horses that have no issues physically, but mentally they have issues and they just cannot be worked with.
Oksana Fairfield, hi. So not even just because I needed to train him or like kid-proof or anything. It's just that just because he's my first horse and I need a good one. Yep, cool.
Yeah.
So yes, I do know how to train myself. Yes, to train him myself. Yeah.
That's really good. If he's your first horse and you're already training, that's really good. A lot of people don't bother and they don't have the time or the patience to do it. So that's really good that you're happy to do so. So you can see right now, when I'm asking her to turn away from certain areas, like this gate down here, she'll change her this position and then she'll try and hurry me along. So what I'm going to do is make sure I keep my seat down when she's doing that, so she does not start running. She wants to go. I'm not using my reins whatsoever. If I want her to go quicker, I'll use my seat and I'll ask her to move forward once she gets away from there. Stop. Stop.
So Linda's neighbor is a great trainer and she helps her emotionally too. That's awesome. That's a great relationship.
Pulling on her a little there. Just want to get her used to that mouthing happening. Because she usually listens to when I'm asking her to stop. See, she's going to try and stop from there. She's deliberately doing that. That's okay, I'll just keep her going. My nerves are pretty bad right now because I can feel what she's doing. She really is not wanting to deal with me. What's that sound?
I think it's an airplane.
This is where my nerves come into things. So right now my nerves are probably an 8 out of 10 of I want to jump off. Just because I'm not willing to trust anything today because of the situations that are all happening around me. Now, I've got kangaroos over there, I've got cattle over there, I've got an aeroplane above me. Let's take the cockatoos going up. She hates cockatoos, and when there's a cockatoo, if there's a whole heap of cockatoos, she will freak out. Rest for a moment. Right next to the thing that's moving around and windy flag thing. Have a think about looking over towards the horses over there, but wanting to keep her mind towards me. There's a few horses over here. By. As a matter of fact, is that horse in our carriage or is it in this? Oh no, it's in there. In the back. So back. Always been a little funny about backing. We've been doing quite a bit of work on practicing our backing. Good job, that's really good. And I don't pull on the bit if I can help it. I think the only time I ever really pulled on a bit was when I had her take off on me when she got stung. My reflexes were like, oh. So I'm just going to ask her to go off. Her cue to go is just simply a hand motion forward. That's got to be a must. As I said, you can play guitar on this horse. You can play tambourine on this horse. You can play an electric guitar. All sorts of things. She's very quiet in those ways, but when she wants what she wants, then she decides, and if you haven't got her head and her mind, you've got no chance. So she will decide to do what she wants to do.
So Linda says she's in all English, but since I started with only Western, she helped me learn about my horse.
Yep.
So horse to like things that could trigger him for things, but she said she would not ever have barrels in her.
Right. So she's basically said she's not really a barrel horse. Well, some horses aren't, but you can teach them. They're not built for speed. Or what's your horse? What sort of horse? Quarter horse?
So do you have a quarter horse, Linda? Linda also says arena for anyone for a lesson because all of the English. Because of all the English, but she has barrels for me. Awesome. Okay, hobby horses for life says hi. Hi, how you going?
I love horses. I love horses.
He is a quarter horse.
Yeah, usually barrel horses aren't quarter horses. This girl is a gypsy pop cross with an Appaloosa, and she can barrel race. She can be barrels. We don't go super fast though, because I'm limited with my ability to feel confident enough to go at a certain speed. And this is actually really good for me right now, just doing this and walking, because I don't want her to try and pull one over there, so we're just going to go around again. She's actually doing pretty good. I'm going to ask her to trot.
Hobby horses, how many horses do you have? So Linda asks, so do you think you could watch me if I go on live?
I could. I could definitely watch you. I love to watch you. Yeah? I'd be fascinated. I like watching people who are confident, who aren't stuck, because I'm not confident. I have no confidence. So right now, doing this is a big feat for me. I love watching people who are confident. I have a lady who comes out and rides Ellie, and I'm helping her learn. And I love watching her ride because she's able to do the things that I can't do because I don't have that level of confidence that I used to have. I used to be extremely confident. But when you have injuries and you get older and things don't heal as quickly, your confidence does take a dive.
So it's about midday here, Linda. Cool.
Yeah. So where are you in? Are you in America?
About 10:35 p.m. for her.
Okay, yeah, so you're probably in the United States then. Yeah, no, if you go live, I'll subscribe to your channel and I'll put the notifications on so I can watch you. That'd be great. Because I like watching anybody who does anything. There's a lady called Hayley, well, it's a young girl. Her name's Hayley. She's called Hayley the Eventer. And she's been learning. She doesn't own a horse of her own, but she's been learning for some time. And she often puts up videos. She can't do a live because they're not allowed to do a live from the place that she rides in. But he often puts up videos. I love watching Hayley because her progress has gone from her being a very scared young person to being extremely confident. She's now doing huge jumping. She's doing barrels. She's doing all this stuff. And, you know, I love watching people progress with the horses. And that's the thing, like, everybody has different things they want to do with their horses. It's so important to encourage people when they're even having a go at all takes guts. So anybody who's really trying needs some support. I'm more than happy to come on and give you some support, that's for sure.
So I'd have to ride about maybe 3:30 tomorrow for me, if that's good for you, because I don't want it to be too early for you. That's all right. We'll work it out, Linda. Thank you so much. And yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
we'll work
subscribe.
out time. So if it's midday here and it's 10 o'clock at night there, then midnight here would be 10 p.m. there. Midnight, 10 a.m. there. So 3 p.m. will be about 4 o'clock in the morning. Roughly, not 4 o'clock. About 5 o'clock in the morning. That's a good time for me because I get up early, but I come out here after 6, 6:30. Not too dark otherwise. So early in the morning is best for me to watch anything. Most of the people I subscribe to I watch early in the morning or very late. But I go to bed pretty early. I'm a 7 o'clock bedtime lady.
Leo the horse, welcome. I love Leo the horse says, I love the horse.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Linda says, okay.
Yeah. And see now, she's more than happy to give me what I'm asking. And I'm going to slow it down and I'm going to turn back around. We're going to go the other direction. I'm going to ask for another crop. Just giving her a little bit of a stretch over my legs a bit. Trying to get it to stay on the outside edge. Don't want to cut it in. She tries that on the ground to get corrected, so you should do a correction on the saddle as well. Good girl. Watch how she stay in this time. Good girl. There we go. We did that correction lovely, and we're going to relax. Come back in. Just keep walking. We don't want to go to a sudden stop. We want to walk.
That's okay, Linda. Yes, we sometimes have the same issue with the comments, reading the comments and doing this. So don't worry. She'll definitely comment and leave some awesome stuff in the chat. So thank you.
So I'm not going to do too much more today because my nerves are short. This is about the most I've done for a few months now. I did tell her a couple of weeks back, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, I did a canter. I've only done 2 canters since I came on. I just don't feel it when it's happening. So she's trying to cut in there, so I'm going to walk that. We're going to go back to my feet just came forward again. I'm cutting, she wants to finish.
Welcome back.
I'm going to give her the option to turn. And ask her, the bed to cut on that side. She doesn't want to listen to that neckline, so we're going to give her 2 options there. We're going to give the neckline as well as a gentle tap on this side. And now we're going to go back to nice circle work. And this is the best way to build up your horse's rear end is to trot. You canter all day long, you're not going to put a lot of muscle on them. Trotting is the best way to go. If you've got an open, going in circles all the time isn't always ideal. But if you've got an open, more bigger space where you can go a little more. So she's wanting to finish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to surprise her and I'm going to wait for this, stand here. Walk.
5, Cam. Welcome, Cam. She's 5.
Stop finish. She wants to keep going so she finishes. Her young brain says, if I hurry up and I go around really fast and I do all these things, I'll finish. And the reason she's like that is because we used to do barrels. So she's wanting to go fast. And now that we're not doing that anymore, because I can't do it, she still has that mindset from when we first learned. So it's so important when you're first teaching your horse, a young horse, what you teach them when they're 2 and 3 and 4 is so important. Cut
Hi, Jade.
and cut. Turn again. Go this side and pivot.
Oh, that's okay, Linda. Yeah, not a problem. So Linda doesn't want to do a live right at the moment. She's not an adult yet, so she doesn't feel
Oh,
comfortable.
that's all right, yeah. No, that's fine. But if you put some videos up of you riding, that's just as good. You don't have to do a live.
That's right.
You just pop some videos up of you riding. I'm more than happy to watch and
She said she'll post some
see
videos.
how you do, yeah.
Cool.
And I'm sure that you're probably doing really, really well. It's hard to gauge yourself if you're not. I don't know if you go around a lot of horse people, but if your neighbour's a horse person, you probably have that. But I don't go around a lot of people, so I don't really gauge myself against other people. I just gauge myself with the horse, whether or not the horse is listening to me or not. And today I got lucky and she had a really nice day today. She didn't give me any trouble. So I'm a little bit apprehensive about certain things while I was on her, but nothing that would alarm me or cause me any concern. So I'm pleased with her performance. You did well, my girl. And you just get this off carefully. There I'm not.
Linda has to go, but we'll post some hopefully tomorrow. Awesome, Linda.
Okay, great, and I'll definitely subscribe to your channel. And thank you for all your input today. I appreciate it. It's good to get other people's opinions, that's for sure. Everyone does things a bit differently and we can all learn from each other. So thank you, greatly appreciated all of your input and your comments during the whole time.
Yes, thank you, Linda.
Staying around. She says, so that's all.
Would you like me to take that for you?
That's okay.
Okay, cool.
I'm sure it'll roll. She might not. I'm pleased to see that there is no
Bye, Linda.
issues with that saddle.
Thanks for coming today. Okay, I'll just open that.
No, it's okay. I can just pop it there.
Yep.
So she's going to have the release of going home and having some feed. My horses get 3 meals a day. Their midday meal isn't very much. They don't need an awful lot, but it just helps break the monotony of the day because there's not a lot of feed out here. There never is. It's very sparse. It looks green, but there's not much there. So I'm going to go and put this away. I'll be back and I'll take her home.
Great job, and thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you haven't already, hit that like button and definitely consider subscribing. Awesome channel and great informative, great community, and some awesome people will come in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Hi, Jennifer. How are you doing? Yep. What type of horse is a horse? Oh, this is a tough one. Okay, so Ellie, what type is she again? I'm sorry. Gypsy Cob crossed with an Appaloosa. I'm pretty good. Thank you, Jennifer. I think Ellie might be doing a roll here pretty soon. Yeah, Ellie's really cool because she actually reminds me, I don't know really very much about horses, but she looks to me like a raccoon. Got that raccoon thing happening with a tail. So, yeah, that's all I know. She is a very pretty horse, yeah. And this one, she's definitely very much an alpha mare. So she is very, very high on the pecking order. Yep. And she's 5. And Mama's just in there getting her some food. Patiently awaiting the food. Everybody's hungry. We got several other horses over there. Have I rode a horse before? I got on once when I was really like super drunk, which was crazy, and that's the only time I've ever actually ridden like properly. So, but I have ridden before, and Nervous Rider here has actually taught me quite a lot on how to ride. It's just it's unfortunately not my thing. I'm too scared. But I do like them. I do respect them. And there's a lot of things like with Groundwork, working with difficultly behaving horses that I can appreciate. So to me, it's kind of like a learning experience either way. Yeah, so a lot of these things you can apply to daily life, working with other people and things. And you know, things like release of pressure and teaching teaching people, horses, how to respect you. And you know, horses are probably some of the greatest teachers ever, really, because they mirror ourselves whenever we do work with them. They will show us some of the worst sides of ourselves sometimes, and then also sometimes some of the best sides of ourselves. So they can help us to prove our own confidence to ourselves sometimes. So that's wonderful, I think. Yeah, riding drunk. Thank you for subscribing, Jennifer. I appreciate that. So cool. And we have a really, generally have a really good community on this channel where people chime in and they chat and they talk about their own experiences with horses. So it's a really great hub and place to be. So I appreciate you all being here, and thank you, Jennifer. And just a quick story as well. I did work with Ellie here, and I didn't actually know exactly how to work with her very well because she is an alpha mare. So she's very different to a lot of other horses that I've actually worked on the ground with. So that was a very interesting day.
We're a box of chocolates, aren't you? We never know what we're going to get with you. We get good days, we get bad days, we get absolute shockers of days.
Welcome back, William. Troy, welcome back.
Hi, Troy.
Have I ever been kicked? Oh, yep, I actually have. And
Yep, because you didn't listen to me.
that's right. I actually got in between two horses that were during feeding time, and not realizing that feeding time is a very vulnerable time for horses. That's when they're in their very much fight or flight mode. I got in between two of them, and basically they were having a munch on their meal, and I had actually assumed that I got stung on my hand about probably 10 times in 2 seconds by a bee. What I didn't realize was the horse was so quick, actually both of them tag teamed and kicked my hand several times in about basically 2 seconds. So I have learned very much to not get between horses, especially when they're having a feed. So yeah, very much a deadly thing. I've never been kicked in the head before, and I hope I never do, because I don't think I'll survive that, especially with this girl here. So yeah.
Yeah, my friend who's had horses her whole life got kicked not long ago too. And I said to her, just before it happened, you're going to get hurt. Because there were 3 of them. She kept going in between feed time, and I said to her, you're going to get kicked. And sure, she rings me up a couple of days later, you're absolutely right, I'm in the hospital. They got me on the hand. Luckily it wasn't too bad, but...
Yeah, mine was a bit worse for where you can actually see the raised knuckles still.
I can see if a horse is going to drop and roll long before anyone else does. I can see if it's going to kick. I'm like a horse breeder. When we're out, if my friends are on their horses and something's going to happen, or on my mind or whatever, I'll know long before they'll know what's going to happen, and I'll be like, you've got to get off. They're going to drop right now. And they don't listen, and the horse drops and rolls on them. And they're like, well...
Have you been kicked before, Jennifer?
It hurts when you get kicked. I got kicked and bitten the other day by Fire. She went ape crap on us with the barrier. He got kicked several times. So, I mean, it would be easy for me to get rid of all these and buy a horse that's just easy. I could do that. And I would be able to probably enjoy riding again. But I don't want to let these guys down or put them in a position where they go to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, reads them wrong, they plant someone in the hospital, and then they go to the knackery and get killed if they don't be fair and make it to the knackery. A lot of the horses throw someone off, they're shot straight away.
That's right.
You'd be surprised what happens to them.
I get asked that too, William. William says, some people have asked me if I was ever dropped on my head. And yes, I get that too, William.
So I was thrown through a few brick walls when I was little. Yeah, it's challenging working with these horses, but the challenge in itself keeps me going. So that's why I don't just pack up. I mean, when I was younger, I had a perfect horse who never did anything wrong. He was brilliant. Just did everything right. There was nothing. You just point him and go. Never had a fight with him. Nothing. He made these guys look terrible. But these guys aren't idea, and then she's going to make a phenomenal horse. She just needs more miles, and she just needs more confidence to take her on those miles than how I am. So we're trying to find people who can do that with her without it costing an arm and a leg at the moment. So
Jennifer actually typed, I got kicked in the head before. I'm so sorry, Jennifer. I couldn't read because of the glare. So you got kicked in the head. Oh my goodness.
yeah, dangerous. And it doesn't matter what you know, how good you are. It can happen to anybody. We lost a lady in Australia not long ago. She's been in the racing industry for 48 years, been around horses her entire life, and killed with one kick. Really sad. So, and you know, she would have known the danger, but unfortunately she's misread the body language of the horse and she's died because of it. And you can't blame the horse, you can't blame her. It's an accident. Sometimes you just can't tell what they're going to do. You can read them really, really well, and then the next second you think you've read them and it's completely different. So I think placing blame on people who get injured isn't a good idea. What it is what you've got to do is take a look at if they injured themselves. I always film what I'm doing so that I can look back and see where I've gone wrong, if I've gone wrong, or what I could have done differently. That's a really good practice to do with anything that you're doing, whether it be riding a horse, whether it be gold pen, whether it be whatever you're doing. We can always improve if we watch ourselves and see back what we're up to. I'm sure today when I watch back on here, I'll be doing some things that I'll be horrified with, and I'll be like, oh my God, what was I thinking? But we're all human, so don't be hard on yourselves. If you are nervous like I am, don't be hard on yourself. I've had people say to me, don't have horses, you shouldn't have horses, get rid of them. But if I got rid of my horses, I might as well just end myself, because I have no desire to be on this planet without them. And I don't mean I have to be able to ride them, I don't have to ride them. I just want to be around them and near them. I enjoy them. To me, they're one of the most peaceful creatures as well as one of the most dangerous creatures, but they give me peace inside. So even though I'm scared, when I'm in there with them, there's a calmness as well. So in the chaos, there's a calmness. So they do provide that for me. And the challenge of being in with somebody or something that can do something really terrible and kill you very quickly makes you appreciate being alive, and it makes you want to stay alive. So that's what they do for me. And if I didn't have them, I wouldn't do very well. And I had a few years where I didn't have any, and it was horrible. I didn't do very well. I applied myself in other ways, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't good. So, you know, it's hard. And if you don't have access to a horse, see if there's somebody kind around you who will allow you to come and see their horses and give you an experience with them. I often get people who pull up here and say, oh, we've never patted a horse. Do you mind if we come and pat a horse? And I'll bring one of the horses out and they'll be able to have a pat. We'll do a little bit of interaction with people. Because there's nothing worse than loving something that you can never get near or be around because of money coming in the way or things like that. And unfortunately, the horse world is all about the dollar. The racing industry in particular is all about the dollar, and the show industry is probably even worse because the money's even bigger and on more massive scale. So a lot of horses suffer because of money. So yeah, you know, there's just too many things that can go south with a horse. And like I said, she came from a home of a woman who does a Royal Easter show. This woman's had horses her entire life, but she said she's never had anything like her. She just couldn't handle her. And she had her from 4 months of age. Sold her mum off. So she like Tocky lost her mum very young and was basically living with a goat, and that's who she lived with. She was in with a goat. So she learned a lot of goat behaviour. A lot of that springing forward and using the front legs is the goat behaviour that she mimicked. So when she came here, she acted like a goat, which was kind of a bit disturbing and weird. It's like having a kangaroo horse. It was a bit strange. But she would often do this boom with the paws, bang, and rear up and boom. But she learned what she was given, the environment she was given, so you can't blame her. She He's now learned how to be a horse, and a lot of that I attribute to Miss Szara, who has given her, and Szara is the buckskin over here. Szara became Ellie's mother. So Szara became Ellie's mum and did all the discipline that her mother would have done had she have not been separated from her mother. Szara put her in her place very quickly, and she soon learnt how to work inside a pecking order of horses, but she still is dominant and still tries to get on top. But at the moment, Zara's on top. How long that'll last, because Szara is getting older, I don't know, but we'll see.
Sage Willow, welcome. Sage says, I have a horse. I'm pretty sure she was treated wrong, but she is so sweet. She had some behaviours, but she's so sweet.
Yeah, and often they are lovely horses. They just have it's like a human, you know. I wasn't treated very well as a child, so I come off a very big, I'll put in a big rough exterior so people leave me alone, because I don't want to get people around me that are going to harm me. So people think I'm very gruff and very forward, very much, you know, somebody to be feared. I'm really not. I'm quite a softer person, but I do that for a reason. It's to protect myself. Well, they do the exact same thing, and they've had bad life. It's like Tacking. He's got bad anxiety after being taken off his mum and locked in with a lawnmower, of all things, and getting cut to shreds and left there, and not being treated. His wounds weren't treated or anything. When I got him, he was in a very sad state, and he hated people completely. Now he's okay with me. He's okay with anybody who comes here that comes regularly. But he's charged people and attacked people randomly that he just took one look at them and went, oh, I'm not dealing with them. And so I've got to be careful who I put in with him, who goes in with him. Sometimes you can put kids in with him, sometimes you can't. Just depends on the energy. He's very wary of people. But he's one of the best little fellas as far as I can trust him a lot better with things like he's not a kicker. He won't try to back into you and kick you. The girls will. The girls fight often and back into one another and kick one another, so they use their back legs often. He's not like that. He uses his bite. If he's upset, he'll bite. He's not happy yet.
So Sage says her horse is an off-the-track racer, and she has some joint stuff, but I love her.
Yeah. And it's good on you for taking off the track thoroughbred. A lot of them get discounted and moved into the knackery. The amount of racehorses who end up dead, and they're 2 and 3 years of age when they get killed. It's horrible. I'm hoping they're starting to regulate that industry a bit better. But good on you for doing that, because it's a lot of work working with an off-the-track thoroughbred. So a lot goes into retraining them and getting them ready to lose the mentality of having to go at full speed from the barrier. So I had an off-the-track thoroughbred a while ago. He was a lovely fella. You used to ride him, Ted.
Can we just stand in the shade?
Yeah, he was a great fella. He's only a small off-the-track thoroughbred, but he'd raced about 4 or 5 times, and he just was too slow. He was only 15 hands. He was a lovely boy, and actually he went to a lady who had never ridden a horse before, and I said to her, if you need a beginner's horse, this is the guy for you. And he was fantastic, and she's still got him for as long as, she's had him probably 8 years, so he'd be about 24 years old now. So he was 16 when she got him. So,
Yes,
yeah.
it's very sad that people just throw them out, Sage, exactly. Yeah. Yes, William, Troy, very, very sad. We have Harper Slays. It says, I bought a colt and trained him, and now barrel race him. He is my heart horse. I love him.
That's great, yeah. And there are a lot of stallions out there. Did you get him gelded, or is he stallion now? There's a lot of stallions out there that have a bad reputation, but they can be actually really good horses. I had a stallion who I used to take to the nursing home. He was a mini stallion, but he was a stallion. And we used to take him into the nursing home, and we used to go into the section where people who only have a couple of hours to live or a couple of days to live are, because there's a lot of farmers in the nursing home up here. And they absolutely loved him, didn't they? And
yep.
We used to go to the breakfast. They used to have breakfast in a big hall, and we'd take the stallion and the mare in, and just go around from table to table and let them pat him while they were having their breakfast, and it was really good.
Yeah, so definitely he's a gelding, so Harper says. And William, happens to more people. Hang on. It happens to more than. Hang on. It happens more than people know. I can't read today.
Exactly.
Troy,
There's
you're
a
right.
lot of people that back the racing industry, and I'm not saying everyone in the racing industry is bad. I know people who breed thoroughbreds and they've done the right thing by them. And if they can't race, they get them ready to ride and they sell them to somebody who's going to use them for a good purpose. But there's an awful lot that do work really, really hard. They get flogged and then they get killed. They get shot.
So Sage Willow's horse is named Sassy Poppy by the breeder. It fits as well.
Yeah, that's a nice name.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, good on you for doing that. And the more people that go and get these off-the-track thoroughbreds, the advantage of working with an off-the-track thoroughbred is they're very good in the sense of they're usually fairly well, they're not so spooky like other horses. They've got a good head on their shoulders because they've been out and about and they've travelled and they've been in high-stress situations. So oftentimes they make a really good horse. So yeah, it's a good thing to do. I don't mind them at all. I wish I had more room. If I had more room, I'd take on more. But I've got 5 right now. They've all got their quirks, and there's a lot. Actually, the only one who is normal is Henry. But Henry's 31 years old and he's gone deaf and half. He can't see very well. He's almost completely blind now, so he just sees bits of shadow.
Sage Willow says she was a bit spooky, but not too dramatic. Yeah. And William says, Troy says, I have only had 2 horses in my lifetime, and both were rescues. I haven't had a horse in over 20 years.
Wow, maybe you should get another one. Do you reckon you would? I think they're just wonderful. Like, they're phenomenal creatures to work with. And I used to have ones that we used to do pony parties and everything. We used to go all over the place with the horses, but the drought killed us. That's what happened. I had to get rid of all the horses that I had, and I'd worked really hard to get them as fit as they were, and then we had to let them all go because we just couldn't afford to feed. It was ridiculous. The prices of hay were $50 a bale. So I kept one, and that was it, and I had to build back up again. But the ones I did let go all went to really good places where they've all had successful careers and enjoy what they do. So I'm happy for that, I suppose. But I do miss them a lot. I'm hoping next time there's a drought I don't have to let these guys go whatsoever, because these guys, well, yeah, I'd like to keep them until the end if I can. And of course she's my daughter's horse, Ellie, so we're hoping my daughter will get on. She bought herself this beautiful saddle that we haven't used it. So we're just waiting for Ellie to fill out a bit more, and then that saddle should fit her nicely. It's a wade roping saddle, beautiful.
Poppy was so thin when we got her. She's a bit chunky now and working on getting fit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? A lot of horses, especially from the racing industry, do have trouble keeping weight on. So you're doing a good job if they're keeping weight on. It's really good. Thoroughbreds drop weight really quickly. The majority of them aren't very good doers when it comes to feed. Out here at the moment, and in this country at the moment, there's a hell of a lot of thoroughbreds being sold off. People are starting to give them away now because even though it's a bit green right now, they're anticipating the drought coming back. So they're trying to get rid of them while they can still make a buck or two out of them. But yeah, I mean, ideally, Ellie's probably at an ideal weight, the way that she is right now. Her conformation is good. She's not thin. You can't see any rib, but it's almost there. Because you want to see, what you don't want is a big barrel. If they've got a big barrel, it's not healthy for them. Whereas Henry, the old fellow, he's got a big barrel at the bottom because he's an ex-standard bred. He's always been a funny shape, but all of his weight pulls down under his belly, so he looks like a big pear shape. But we're having trouble keeping any actual weight on him. Whoop, and there we go. We don't know what just happened there, but something gave her a spook. And that's what you meant. That's what I mean. Anything can happen at any time.
So Sage Willow says she's surprisingly an easy keeper. She did colic a bit after we got her, though.
Yeah, that can happen too, just from stress when they first move. I mean, you've got to think about it. It's like us. If we were just picked up and put somewhere else, and I know exactly how that feels because that happened to me. I was picked up and thrown into a children's home at 6.5 years of age with no explanation. So I understand what it's like for a horse to just be put on a float, go somewhere they have no idea where they're at and who's going to be dealing with them. They don't have a choice. They are just into situations and there's nothing they can do about it. Unless they decide they're going to knock us down and kill us, and then they could do something about it. But most of them are too kind to do that to us. So it's I always try to think what it's like for the horse in their horse's head as a horse, not as a person, but as a horse. What it would feel like to come into a new herd, to try to go from the bottom of that herd and work your way up. And it's not going to be easy for them. So I always say to people, if you're getting a new horse and you've got a herd already, do a real slow integration. Don't just throw them in there. A lot of people just throw them in there and go, oh, well, they'll sort it out. Well, they will, but you also might be sorting out the vet coming and a lot of big bills, or you might be, dragging a horse into the grave with a tractor, because I've seen where people have popped horses in with other horses and they've killed the other horse in 5 seconds. You've got to be so careful with them.
She likes to play with hands and she trots up to us.
Oh.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Yeah. But good job taking on an off-the-track thoroughbred. They're about ready to finish their lunch. I'm about ready to go to sleep. I'm really tired. And I've got to do a few things over there. So I'm going to head off. But thank you everybody for coming on and having a chat. And thanks for everyone who's done some input and asked questions and given some answers to other people and helped out. Appreciate all that. And I'm going to head off. And thank you everybody. Have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you. Moderators, we had William Allen here, Troy, and we had Lane Bear, and there's a few others. We had Mr. Big Pipes as well. So thank you guys to our moderators. Thank you all.
Who's come on, and thanks for coming on all the time. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, Sage. Thank you. And yep, we love to read comments, and we want to get as much interaction as possible sometimes. So thank you.
Okay, guys, you have a lovely rest of the day. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye for now.